Hi, welcome to Back Pain Secrets. My name is Daniel Grant, and hopefully I'll be your coach to get you to at least reduce your back pain, and I'm highly confident that we can practically eliminate what you've been suffering with. And the reason why I'm so confident is because I went through something similar myself. When I was 23, I've been a personal trainer over 20 years, always trained regularly, did a lot of lifting of weights, kept myself in really good shape. And I was training as usual, pushing myself, pushing my body, which is usually fine. And then I just got together actually with my fiance at the time, and we woke up one morning and the heel on my left leg was numb. And I moved around. I thought maybe I just slept funny, but it was a very strange sensation. I didn't have any pain in that moment in my back. I didn't have any in my leg. Just my heel was numb and going into my foot. And I didn't put two and two together at the time, to be honest. So we thought, oh, maybe we started freaking out a little bit. Maybe have I had a stroke? Was my speech just about to go? Started getting a bit worried. We did a little 111 and a bit of Google searching, how it is. And then when you do any of that, Google spits up a load of even more worrying things, right? So anyway, we went through that. Turns out that they said it might not be anything severe, just keep an eye if anything gets worse, right? So I did. It seemed to go away a little bit. Anyway, I dismissed it. I thought, oh, I ran the day before, maybe I bruised my heel. And I thought, that's it, I've just bruised my heel. So I put it down as that in my mind. Anyway, the next day I thought, okay, it's a heavy deadlift session. I don't know if you know what a deadlift is. When, in the Olympics, when they pick the bar up from the floor, they bend from the hip, they pick the bar up from the floor and they lift a heavy weight. I wasn't lifting Olympic level weights, but I was lifting a heavy weight for me, just pushing my body as I usually did. And I had the most horrible experience. As I lifted the weight, I was on maybe my 6th rep. I was going for like a 6-rep max, and it was my absolute maximum. I lifted it and I felt my lower back, well, we're not aware that we have vertebrae. We have the spine, and the vertebrae go like this, and in between each vertebrae there's discs, right? So, but what I felt was bone on bone in my back, in my lower back. And when you grind your teeth like at night time, or you've ever ground your teeth, it felt like that. So I lifted the weight and I felt in my back and heard like a grind inside my ears, and my whole upper body slid. It was like someone cut me in half. And I dropped the weight and I slowly went down to my knees. At that point, there wasn't immediate pain, but I knew there was something drastically wrong. And then it started to ache, and severe pain started going down my legs, both my legs, and in my lower back. And I crawled over and laid on the mat, and I was just in agony at that moment. And a few friends came over. There was a physio in the building, so I was obviously at the gym. And so they did a quick assessment, and they thought, might have ruptured discs. I've done something. I've injured my back basically, but I couldn't move. It was like someone cut me in half. It was one of the most horrific experiences of my life. But I was silly because I got a warning, right? I had a warning the day before. Your heel is numb. Something's going on. And I chose to just carry on. I dismissed it as something else, a bruise. So what did I do? I actually had to spend the next week in bed, and I could hardly move. I had to learn how to move slowly, so the pain didn't shoot down my back. And it was a weird sensation because it wasn't always pain, but it felt like my legs would give way. It felt like I was cut in half. I don't know if you can relate to that. And the ache was constant. So I lay in bed for over a week. And then I slowly got myself moving again. But that experience for me was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I needed to learn how to rehab myself. I was a personal trainer. That was my career. That was my job. I kept myself in great shape, and I loved feeling that way. In that moment, it looked like I couldn't do that anymore. It was just terrible. I remember it like yesterday. And this was about 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago. So I went about studying. I knew a lot about the body, obviously, and muscles. So I looked into specialists, had conversations, did training courses. I rehabbed my back, and I learned techniques and discovered techniques myself through going through that horrific process myself, that experience of how to rehab my back. And now I am 100% back in shape. I can do any movement I want. I can lift heavy. I do have to manage it though. That is one caveat. I can't just sit anywhere I like. If I sit, wonky on the sofa watching a film and just chuck one leg over, very soon my back will start giving me some pain and let me know, hey, you can't be in that position too long. So my theory on that is that once any one of us, yourself, me, anyone has mobilized the discs or the vertebrae, depending on what's happened to each person, we'll always have to manage it. So it's mobile, right? So it's more likely to be mobile. A path once trodden is much easier to tread. So if you think about a field of grass, and the grass has grown long, but an elephant walks through that grass, that pathway is now trodden, and it will take a while for that to grow over. But it's much easier to tread that path. If you're going to walk through the grass, you're probably going to go that direction that the elephant took because it's been trodden already. As a little bit of an analogy, but once it's mobilized, it's likely going to stay mobilized if we're not careful. So I did need to learn how to move again, not completely, but how to change my movements so that it didn't aggravate my back and so that my back felt safe, and so that I could train and keep myself in shape and feel strong. So yeah, that's my backstory of how I learned all this stuff and why I learned all this stuff. And then I've gone on since then to rehab, train many people with lower back pain, many people post-operative and pre-operative. So they don't do it so much these days, but when people used to have severe low back pain, they would fuse the lower disc. So they'd remove the discs and fuse the lower vertebrae. So there was no movement in that area of their back and therefore no friction, but obviously that restricted their movements, and it's sort of quite traumatic procedure. So they don't do it so much these days, but it amazes me still how the things I'm going to show you in these videos, how these aren't shown to people straight away. The first things we'll do are the things that will likely give you a lot of relief and a lot more freedom and help you feel a lot stronger and not so fearful of your back pain and movement. And I'll show you all the movements that you'll need, and I'll show you all the strength exercises that you'll need to feel safe, to reduce your pain at the very minimum, reduce it. And in a lot of cases, I've helped a lot of people completely eradicate, disintegrate, dissolve their pain. Takes time. It's not like a quick fix. Some people need just the first exercise I'm going to show you, and that makes such a dramatic difference on their experience of life and what's going on in their back. Everyone's unique, so you may need to go through all of the exercises and follow the whole program. Great, it's all going to be there for you, but everyone's unique, so it's dependent on exactly what's going on in your back and what you need. But I'm going to give you everything that you need and how to strengthen up and how to stay strong and manage it for the rest of your life. So I hope that gives you a little insight into what we're about to do, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get started with you and really help you reduce your pain and hopefully get rid of it completely for the rest of your life. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.